进去看了一下他的符文吧。而之前有一个传说，不知道他听了没，在联赛里面用亚索用皮肤的都输了。
信，因为我春季赛亚索只要出场就没赢过，包括季后赛。
哎呀，这个套路已经来了啊！姿态是带了点燃，玉米这里带了闪现。他姿态带了什么符文？
我红色带了全暴击。
玉米带了什么？
攻击。
之前的话有这个人问啊，就是亚索中路你主 E 和主 Q 有什么区别？有什么讲究吗？
有，打那种像辛德拉这种主 E 会好一点，因为你平时都不怎么能碰到他，你耗血就只能拿最高伤害的那一段 E，然后去弄他，然后弄完就跑。然后等下一个 E 继续弄完就
啊，就用 E 来打伤害，然后再用 E 来这个通过小兵做位移赶紧跑。
是，
对，亚索对亚索都是一上来直接升那个 Q 啊。
他升 Q 了吗？
哎，我怎么就告诉你了？玉米，我觉得你就是闪现能不能躲掉他一发 Q， 可能就是拼起来的关键了。我跟你说，
对，
所以
躲不到我就输了。
就你们两个人觉得这一把应该会在什么时候发生一血？
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 here. We're going to hop into it. LGD taking on Invictus Gaming. I'm Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and we'll be taking you through champion picks and bans for Game 2. But to be honest, it doesn't matter which champions these guys pick if they want to take the Nexus down to 2 HP and then not focus it. So after a big throw in Game 1 for IG, we'll see if they can take down LGD and at least redeem themselves and go 1-for-1.
And there we go, the KL ban coming out of IG. They will not be able to secure it with the first pick, so they will not want it to be in the game overall. So we'll see if this Thresh will come out for PYL. It's like the thing that I want to know the most, because PYL kind of disappointed me, but then what else can he play? He has this Thresh and Sona, so maybe he will go for Sona this time around. But he needs to step up the play. After all, his team was able to win the game, but he wasn't impressive at all. And well, 17, on the other hand, he's the new guy and he has surprised me a lot. The outplay on Kid in the bottom lane with this Yasuo wind wall was incredible. Then he finished off the game with XQ alone. So he's locking in the Lee Sin. There's no surprise in that. Chuan loves this Lee Sin. And of course, most of the Asian junglers prefer to play this champion.
So Lee Sin's a big power pick here for LGD. I want to see that actually maybe go top lane for split push potential, but it probably will be in the jungle on Chuan. Yongsu's going to lock in that Jarvan again. Is that top lane Jarvan? I'm not a big believer. He actually played that game very, very well, to be fair. As a top lane Jarvan, he didn't build Glass Cannon. He was able to get big initiations that helped out Kid's Twitch. But oh, they're going to grab Thresh this time for Kitties. After PYL's Thresh performance in Game 1, I almost think you just give that champion to him. But now with a much bigger playmaking support for Kitties, you can only imagine how much that's going to help Kid, who was a monster there in Game 1.
Yeah, okay, so I said before the first game that Kitties and PYL will both want to get the Thresh, so I would expect to see a ban on Thresh. There's no ban in the first game, no ban in the second game. And well, they are not taking this Braum to take the Thresh, so I'm quite sure that Kitties is confident in his level of play on this champion. So once again, we will see a Kha'Zix. But yeah, talking about the bans, we have a Yasuo ban, Kassadin, and Kayle. So 3 champions banned in the previous game are left unbanned here.
The insta-lock by Kid, grabbing Corki as his AD carry. Keep in mind, this is still on patch 4.9, so Bloodthirster is still your first item buy on 80 carries. So Corki is still actually pretty good. 4.10 is not Corki's patch, but this time around, it's still very, very strong. But it doesn't really play into Kid's playstyle, at least not the way he's been playing. And with Twitch still open, I'm not sure why he didn't just go for that champion once again, but the Corki Thresh is going to be the duo lane for IG. What is 17 going to get this time? He favors carry top laners. It does look like he's going to grab that Jackson. To be honest, the most surprising part of this entire draft is that Ziggs is left open for a 4th pick when he's been probably the most dominant or most banned mid laner out of LPL.
Zilean coming out from Zitai in the middle lane. This is going to be interesting.
IG, okay. I can't get into these guys' heads. Last game, take the Nexus down to 2 HP twice and can't finish it off. This time, against one of the strongest and most dominant LPL mid laners in Ziggs, he picks a Zilean. He's got 2 Z's in his name, so maybe he's just going for the third one in his champion. But we'll be loading into this game here in just a minute. Enjoy a quick break while we do load in, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in game number 2 between Invictus Gaming. They're in the red. They'll be taking on LGD, now in the blue. After game 1 win from LGD off of, I guess it's less of a win for LGD and more of just a loss for IG, who had that game in the bag and wound up throwing it away. Game 2, LGD find themselves with very strong power picks. They have Jax, Lee Sin, Ziggs, Lucian, and Braum. These are like top 1 or 2 champions in their roles. And against them, IG will pick a Zilean. In the mid lane, it's an Ignite Zilean, more importantly. Zetai, he's got something up his sleeves, and to be honest, he does have very large sleeves. So he'll be playing the groovy Zilean. We'll see what he can get done there in the mid lane. Have to kind of question the Jarvan pick by Youngsu in the top lane. It worked out very well in game 1, but I'm just not sure it complements the same team composition. You don't have Twitch to spray and pray. You don't have a big Nami tidal wave to sort of set things up there in the Cataclysm. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it works. Youngsu was very good at that champion, but to be honest, he hasn't had a very wide champion pool at all. He plays Gragas, maybe some Yasuo, but bringing out the Jarvan 2 games in a row wasn't something that LGD really knew about or could prepare for. So we'll see if it's what they want. Illusion once again going for the Kha'Zix jungle. This is nerfed Kha'Zix, so he doesn't have quite the burst damage unless you're isolated, and then he just blows you up. So we'll see how that works out. More importantly, I want to focus on this mid lane matchup as Zetai Zilean faces off against Wayless' Ziggs. So the battle of the Z's in the mid lane. You gotta give Zetai the advantage there because he's already got 2 of them in his name.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. On the other hand, we do have this Braum getting picked up into the bottom lane. So Nami and Braum, most of the ultimates that I have seen in the LPL were missed by these 2 champions, but well, that's just the high risk, high reward style that they are going for. And yeah, Corki, that's an AD carry that I love seeing. And of course, Juan has his Lee Sin, so that's a thing to watch out for.
We're going to see double jungles there as Juan and 17 will share XP on the blue buff. Top lane though, oh, Youngsu could be in a little bit of trouble. He will be able to walk back away from your PYL. No Winter's Bite up again. And Youngsu just forced off of all of that CS at his turrets. So 2 CS is, I guess, a little bit more than 17's been able to pick up. But it's really all about that early experience. 17 now level 2. Youngsu still looking for that level.
Yeah, so the lane swap is going to affect IG by a little bit because, of course, there's the Lucian. On the other side is Corki. I don't think that he's scaling so well with the farm. Of course, Lucian is one of the best AD carries for now. So Twitch and Lucian, the most contested AD carry picks. And yeah, like just looking at the Braum, I'm just waiting for him to make the big plays. And of course, combined with the Lee Sin, it's going to definitely be really, really huge.
It's a 2v2 up in the top lane, and this is actually kind of interesting to see maybe a return, but it's going to be a 4v2 as Chuan and 17 coming in from behind. Illusion, Youngsu, they're both getting locked up there, and after the immediate demise of Illusion, we're going to see a nice knock up there from Youngsu, forcing the flash out of Chuan. Youngsu will die here, but actually it's going to be Q that goes down. The minions just barely unable to take him out. He survives with 40 HP, and holy cow, LGD, they failed the 3-man dive in game 1. They still went for it. Now it's going to be a TP back to the top lane from Youngsu, who I don't think he's going to go in onto Q, but that was a very, very ambitious 4v2 top lane dive.
Yeah, and this time around it worked out. That's the most important thing. Well, who got the kills? It was XQ and Chuan, and yep, the Chuan's Lee Sin getting a kill is a dangerous, dangerous thing for IG, and they lost the first game. That's the thing.
Oh, and they're going to do it again. LGD are using this top turret as bait just to farm champions. Youngsu's there, he's pretty dead here, and they're just gonna go for another 4-man dive. This is LPL at its finest. Do dive right in there. It's gonna be 1 kill. They're gonna find the kill onto PYL. No, Kitty's this year. He's got the lantern onto Illusion. And LGD finally will back away. 2 4-man dives up in the top lane, and that is not where Youngsu wants to be. He does go down, but the LGD are finally pushed away. I don't know what to expect from this game anymore. LGD have been going for some of the craziest just groupings up. They weren't actually laning. I don't think 17's been in lane by himself this entire game. He's basically just double jungling along with Chuan, and they're trying to find IG, catch them out at turrets, and go for big multi-man dives. And they're doing the same thing here. Kitty's gonna get the flay back, but it's not in time to stop the leap strike. Immediate flash over the wall. He will stay alive from that, but yeah, like I said, 17 and Chuan, they're not doing anything but ganking, and that means that 17 might actually fall pretty far behind here if he doesn't finally make his way into lane eventually.
Okay, so this Zillion, in the previous game it was a KO with a teleport. Now it's a Zillion with no teleport, so what can I do to counteract the play in the top? Well, there's not much, and he on top of that he burned his flash.
And Zillion only level 6 here. Zatai is going to die for free off of a big greedy gank. He went in on a wayless and would have won the 1v1, but Chuan was right there. So good job by LGD, who really just have their numbers here. And after getting focused on that mid lane, it's action in the bottom lane. Kid gonna finally find that trade 1-for-1 as supports. It's not their lane down there. Both supports will die, but Kid finds the first kill for IG, so at least them getting on the board. He's going to Valkyrie in onto Q and lose that trade very, very hard. Flash in there from Q, and he will find the kill onto Kid. 6-1. IG, they're trying to make too many big plays here. Illusion might be able to find this kill onto Q, but we'll see how this works out here. A level 4 versus level 6, and Illusion chasing Q back on off towards his own turret. Misses the Void Spikes, but does find the isolation for the
yeah, so the previous game was all about turning around and throwing. So early game belonged to Invictus Gaming, now the early game belongs to LGD. So it might once again be a big throw in the end. Well, we'll see what happens later on.
Oh man, 17 might actually be in a little bit of trouble here. If you fail this dive, you got Zillion there for a do-over. There's a nice dodge there. Youngsu's pretty much just gonna guarantee die here, but he can die for free. Zatai picks up the posthumous kill there with that bomb. There's just enough minions for Youngsu to make it out of there alive. Pretty cheesy dive, but Zatai putting that Zillion to use. So some big dives here. If you guys have never watched LPL before, this is exactly what you can expect. Dives all day long, and LGD with 2 4-man dives early on. Oh, Illusion here versus Chuan. He needs that ult. He needs the isolation. He's going to try to jump away. Chuan will be robbed of his kill there, but no, Kid forced Valkyrie back away for himself. He's 1v2 in that lane. Really needs Kitties to make his way down there.
Yeah, so both teams were aggressive. I said at the very beginning of the previous game, LGD is going to be aggressive, IG is going to have an aggressive jungler, and now we finally get to see it. The previous game was a little bit more passive with just a failed gank under the turret in the bottom lane and not much happened.
Teleport down here, bottom lane. It's coming in for IG. Youngsu, no knockup, but he gets a Cataclysm. Q's gonna dash back out to his turret and he'll stay alive, but fortunately not quite so much for the strong man. PYL finds his 2nd death of the game. And IG, to be honest, IG, they have the initiation advantage. Oh, Death Sentence now on to Q. Phosphorus Bomb's gonna land. There's the Summoner spell. Heal up underneath that turret. Lantern's out there. Kid's gonna get a nice dash back out away from there. And dive successful. Working out for IG. This Q will be able to survive, or Q will not survive. He goes down. IG, they're playing this game very well as far as like the individual lanes, but LGD haven't given them a laning phase. They, from even level 1, they've went for 4-man dives. They went for double jungle. They were just all over the map, putting on so much pressure, but I feel like this may be kind of falling off for them as IG starting to find their way back into the game, winning a lot of these lane matchups.
Yeah, so a lot of kills coming out right here. So once again, coming back to the 20-minute 20 kills thingy of the LPL. 65 at the moment. It's incredible.
Oh, big jump in here from Illusion right onto Wayless. Summoner heal, and there's the flash. Illusion still got the catch if he wants it. Stealthing on there, gets the slow from Taste Their Fear. Bombs out there, but Illusion doesn't care. He's going to take him down there. Kitty's got the Death Sentence if he wants it. Death, and where's the flay over the wall? No, the dash just barely positioning. Illusion's gonna get wombo combo there, but same thing about to happen to Chuan. Zatai's in there with the bomb. He's gonna be Bomberman on top of him. PYL goes down to Kid. Jump in from 17, but he is not in the place he wants to be. A Death Sentence finally from Kitties. Holy cow, this guy's Thresh is making PYL jealous. PYLS. There we go. Now a dragon off of a monstrous team fight. IG crushing down the game, finally able to find their team fight.
Yeah, so 6-1, now coming back so much in the kills and even getting a dragon on top of that. The game is just incredible. It's ridiculous how many kills, how many turnarounds, how so much is happening around in the triple kill for Kid. Indeed, 6-1 at the moment. So it was the score for LGD at the very beginning of the game. Now it's just Kid having 6-1 himself.
And this is why you don't give up early. IG, they went down 6-1 like you said, and it's just... I feel like mostly LGD having a lack of strategy. They said, alright, here's our big plan. We're going for double jungle, we're going to 4-man dive top, and then we're going to camp Illusion in his own jungle. And they did all of those. They did them very, very well. Had a huge start to the game. But then once their early game strategy was successful, I feel like they were just like, alright, cool, that worked. And now what do we do? LGD finding weakness in their lane phase, but strength in their team fight and strategies. Need a few more of those in order to come back, as now they sort of, they're playing this game backwards. They're like, alright, let's team fight early on, and then go into a lane phase. And while the team fight worked, lane phase has not been in their favor. IG find big wins, and just like happened in game number 1 with the quadra kill Kid, out to a 6-1 start to his game. And even 17 and his aggressive Jax is behind versus all of Youngsu's team fight contributions.
Yeah, so, well, the question is, will this Zatai's Zillion work later on? Because now it's okay, then it can bring Corki back to life with the ultimates, but later on in the game, when it's like level 16, it might be a little bit useless with just the ultimate being useful in his whole kit. He's not really too mobile, but he has the speed up, but well, when he gets slowed, he's dead. And well, there's a bit of CC in the lineup.
Oh, Illusion's gonna get speeded up there. He's got a bomb on his head for the burst damage. He's gonna go in there. Mega Inferno Bomb, though, will go down. He doesn't care about dying when he dives. He's got the Zillion there. Zatai, even taking up the turret, so he makes it out alive. Beautiful dives here, and IG, you gotta give some props to Zetai. He picked a Zilean mid versus one of the best mid laners in LPL in Ziggs, and he's just making it look easy. 2-1-4, and more importantly, many lives saved.
Yeah, this ultimate right under the turret was incredible in Illusion. And Illusion can be aggressive. It fits his style so perfectly. He can be aggressive, he can go diving, the same goes for Kid. He can just Valkyria in to get a kill because they have the die with the ultimate. It's really good for IG.
Coming down to the bottom lane, misses the Sonic Wave. Nice ward over the wall there from Kid. Keeps himself safe. And to be honest, a lot of people prioritize Kayle as a pick because she, she has a lot of magic shred, she's got burst damage, and this whole long list of reasons. But I feel like the only reason IG were picking Kayle is because they could keep somebody from dying when they were either over-aggressive, when they got caught out, and that's something that Zilean does too. So when you think about it, Zilean is actually Kayle in a very weird way of thinking about it as far as those survivability ults are concerned, and it's working out exactly the same way. Zetai making these dives possible because you can die and still come back to life.
Yeah, and LGD bullied the turret in the top lane. Right now IG is bullying the top in the turret in the middle lane. Well, it got kind of weird for me. So yeah, Willis is just going down and going down and going down constantly. Illusion can be aggressive because there's no punishment for him, and if someone even joins like Youngsu and maybe IG's bottom lane decides to go for the middle, it's going to get even better for them.
Zetai's ultimate is up already, but we got to teleport down to the bottom lane. Big plays here being made by LGD. They're going to get a TP into the brush as well. Kitty's there actually tanking things up there with Youngsu's teleporting. He's going to get onto the bottom lane. Look at all that damage. He's going to dunk right onto PYL and a Q. Overdives though, and he's going to go down here. If he doesn't get a Zilean ult, he does, and we're going to see him go back in here. Oh, Kid's actually the one to take the turret. Wayless stays alive, but he's the only one left alive on his team after IG counter that LGD initiation so perfectly. Zetai didn't even need to ult Youngsu there. It's just a perfect team fight from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, just the heal saved them right there, and well, IG most probably will be taking the turret in the bottom lane. I'm a little bit behind, of course, so I'm sorry. I'm talking about the things that already happened, but yeah, 15-7. The kill lead is not even double, it's even more. At IG have such a huge dominance. They have 3 turrets to 1. They have the dragon control because there's no 2 turrets in the bottom lane. So the bot lane, the 2 members of LGD will not be able to be there for the dragons. And they will just be getting more and more gold right now. 6k gold difference. And we have a Trinity Force and a BF sword on a Corki. He's gonna hurt a lot. Plus he has this Styles ultimate, of course, to back him up.
PYL should be clearing things out there along with Q, and to be honest, Q's been doing probably the best out of anyone on LGD, but I feel like he's not being allowed to succeed. Every single time, every single fight, Youngsu just goes straight for Q. He doesn't even try to like line up good cataclysms. He's just like, look, you're gonna die, I'm gonna force you out of the fight. Youngsu playing a top lane Jarvan in a way I did not expect. Very skilled with that champion. To be honest, this is one of the benefits that Youngsu as a very new player to LPL, filling in one of the biggest roles in LPL, taking over the spot for PDD. Coming in and bringing out some surprising new champions. He's got a weird champion pool. It's Jarvan, he plays some Yasuo, and most importantly, his signature champion, Gragas, is drawing bans. So IG are just, they're using every little ounce of advantage they can possibly get with some new champions, some big picks, and Zetai Zilean really coming out big for IG. But just like we saw in game number 1, doesn't matter how good you do during the beginning of your game if you can't close it out.
Yeah, and if it works, they're happy with it. Of course, PDD had this brutal Kayle in the top lane with Runan's Hurricane bring A. But well, PDD is gone, no problem. Youngsu will pick up a Jarvan and Zetai is gonna go for this Kayle. So that's definitely working well for IG right here.
Posturing around in the jungle. Phosphorus Bomb's gonna give some vision over the wall, but really this is just kind of a counter jungling push warding effort. It's IG pushing up that top lane. They do get some deep wards down there in the upper jungle. Zetai really needs to get in position. He doesn't have TP, so he's got to get to these fights. Can't do so very quickly, but Zatai's actually prioritizing that mid lane pretty hard, wanting to wave clear and put as much pressure on that as he possibly can. Not really looking to join his team in fights, and speaking of not joining his team in fights, Q finally recalling back to base. He's going to need to get to this turret pretty quickly to stop this IG push.
Yeah, Zeta is nowhere near.
Oh, Death Sentence right there into the knockup. Braumel, it's down, and it's a good for counter engage, but not good enough to keep 17 alive. He goes down. Now Lucian's going to show up. Q joining the fight, but huge pick on a 17, and just brilliant capitalization. Death Sentence from Kitties, knock up from that flag and drag onto Youngsu, and that's all she wrote. Beautiful catch there. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down just to clear the wave, and IG should back out for now and leave this turret alive, but to be honest, they are definitely in the driver's seat. Can probably do whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, so exactly this Mega Inferno Bomb disengage. Zetai was in the middle lane. He can't really do anything from a distance. Willis can throw out this Mega Inferno Bomb. That's really fortunate for LGD's mid laner. Well, Zetai is still gonna be a beast in the team fights when they happen. And so, well, IG is building up. Look at the dominance in the map. Well, they are pressuring the inner turret in the top, but that means they have the whole upper jungle of LGD themselves. They can just ward it up and they can set up for the Baron.
Ty is playing this mid lane like so greedily. He's literally diving under turret to tank turret shots, using his move speed to get back out alive, and just double bobbing Wayless over and over again. So you can see Wayless actually went through 5 potions in his inventory because he was just having to sustain through all that bomb damage. Now blue buff coming down, it will actually get stolen away, I believe. And yeah, so Illusion's gonna walk away with a blue buff of his own. Nice to see him being able to take that one down. He's going very aggressive. Look at this Kha'Zix build. He picks up the Hex Drinker, but also grabs a Brutalizer on top of that. So, very, very offensive, aggressive, snowbally build. Hey, it's working out.
Yeah, definitely. The damage that they have, and already this Kha'Zix, we have seen this Kha'Zix in like the first weeks of the LPL when it crushed everyone horribly. Now it's still going for this one. It's just the taste of fear damage with the isolation. It's incredible, and he maxes this Q.
Really happy to see the LPL and really Chinese scene as a whole sort of divert to carry junglers, whether it's Insects, Rengar, or Illusion's Kha'Zix, both of them having incredible effects on the game from the jungle standpoint, and really putting bigger tanks up in the top lane. You can see Sunfire Cape's now the build for Youngsu. So he is choosing to build a little bit more aggressively, but still really impressed by his jungle Jarvan. It's like this game is a staircase and he's stepping up.
Yeah, so in the PBE, we have some updates to the jungle items. And yeah, more and more jungles would just be coming, so it's going to be big later on, but well, let's not maybe talk about it.
It's on to Schwann's gonna grab him out. The Lantern pull back in. Immediate Dragon's Rage kick back out onto Kid, but these Valkyries right back into that. Impeccable play by Kitties. If you were a little bit lackluster, impressed by, or not impressed by PYL's Thresh in game 1, Kitties is showing him how it's done. Impressive Thresh play. Now 0, 1, and 12 assists. Big kill contribution there from Kitties Thresh.
Yeah, Kitties is just huge on this Thresh, but so is PYL. Maybe it's just not his day today, but I have seen some really incredible plays on PYL Thresh. Literally in week 1, he just carried his team to the victory with just a support play.
And big rotational movement here from IG. They catch LGD out of position and will put some extra damage down onto this top turret. You have to be very careful, don't want to overdive, but LGD just barely in time, being stretched so thin, moving between mid and top lane on this map. And even though Zetai hasn't actually won his lane matchup, he's put so much pressure onto Wayless that he hasn't really been able to roam. He hasn't been able to affect other lanes other than like Mega Inferno bombs. So taking that Ziggs out of the game, and he's 2-1 versus a 0-2 Ziggs. That's pretty impressive to see Zilean come out of nowhere and do this well against such a dominant laner.
Yeah, and just picks happening over and over again, and just look at that, we have almost 10k gold difference. This is going to get really ugly for LGD quite soon.
LGD trying desperately to keep this top lane turret alive, but IG can just play the siege game, kind of fight a war of attrition. Maybe not against Ziggs, who is pretty good at wave clear and just keeping turrets alive, but it's more than just the top lane turret. Like, I mean, LGD are doing a good job at stalling the game out, but it takes a little bit more than that. while I have been kind of not necessarily criticizing Wayless, he hasn't had a huge effect on the game, but he has farmed like a monster. 236 CS. He's 40 CS above Zatai, and Zillion's actually pretty good at wave clear, the double bombs, so great play by Wayless. Even though he can't like hard carry the game, he can at least keep himself in it. Oh, a huge insect right onto Kid. He's gonna get blown up, and this is the team fight that LGD are looking for. TP in from Yongsu's not quite where he wants to be. Zatai's gonna be there for some bombs, but dunks down, and there will be the bomb kill on to Q. Zatai's gonna try to run himself away on the other side, trying for the kill onto Chuan, but he actually will be able to force himself into there and get out alive. Zatai able to use that move speed. He's trying for the double bombs, gets a couple kills. He's gonna get double kill off the bombs going off, and 3 for 4 exchange. IG do lose the team fight, but manage to salvage it right there at the very end.
Well, they still have the pressure, so even though they lost the team fight, it's not a major team fight, to be honest, because LGD still can't push up too much after that or grab a Baron. I don't think so. Then IG is still comfortable with that. They have almost brought down the inner turret in the top lane. No problem, they will just take it the next time they go for it. And they still have the huge gold lead. It doesn't change anything at all. And there's 7 kills on Kha'Zix, 7 kills on Corki. It's just incredible. So
moving forward, nice senses there by 17, but Kitty's got some boost of mobility. No way 17 is going to be able to make it out of here if Kitty wants to chase him out. Flash in the death sentence lands, and there's the spell damage through. That's, oh, and the ignite as well. Nice stand behind me. 17 gets that safeguard shield from Chuan. We'll stay alive. PYL able to get there in time too, just barely able to keep 17 in there. Big aggression from IG. Still haven't been able to take down the second tier turret, but it's only a matter of time as huge rotations. Zatai even pinging down onto the mid lane turret, trying to take it out. Mega Inferno bombs there to stop him.
Yeah, so IG, they are kind of looking for something to happen, but they can't.
Oh, a big insect here onto Zatai. Immediate ultimate keeps him in there, and it's actually Braum. Blocks a lot of damage, but winds up going down in the end there as well. Big play by Chuan. He's had the best insects of his life, but it's just not enough through that Zillion ult. Keeps whoever gets kicked in alive.
Yeah, they had to back away immediately after the fight actually started because of IG just disengaging with the ult, and they get a kill on top of that. So, well, they are, as I said before the fight happened, they are trying to make something happen, but they really can't. If they go for a Baron, they're gonna get crushed right there. In the team fights, they can't really win them completely, so they can't push up after the team fights. And well, they don't really have the scale split pushing. There is not much that they can do. They are just trying to stall out the game and wait for an opportunity for something to happen. And instead, it's just Chuan jumping in and kicking everyone around.
Impressive play from IG all game long, but once again, you have to think that after losing game 1, IG, they're done with the trolling, they're done with the over-aggression, the over-dives. They're just playing this game very cool, calculated, and they're winning just absolutely everything. The only person that's negative on the entire team for IG is their top laner Yongsu, and he has 11 assists. Like, he's battling kitties for that maximum assist roll. He's been the big engage that IG have needed, but after a very aggressive Baron attempt being started out here, Chuan shows up and push IG away. IG are never the team to start the Baron. They always want to engage onto LGD once they've initiated it. So you can see why exactly that. They are so cautious about not throwing away this game like they did in game 1.
So the Baron dances will begin in just a second. Well, about time, the 27th minute in the game already. Should have even begun a little bit earlier.
Now Zatai is coming top lane, is able to wave clear that out relatively effectively. And yeah, double bombs will clear out the entire wave. As now, oh, IG, they're trying to make a big cut here onto PYL. Can they find this catch? Big ward clearing going on from IG. They'll reestablish their control in that area. But LGD have been hanging on, and if you actually notice, 17 has been in that side lane, he's been farming it up, he's still actually pretty far behind, but he is able to take down that turret. So 17, this is the same thing that he did in game 1. He was very far behind from even just the very beginning of the game, but he just stays in there, stays aggressive, and is able to eventually come back, and he's got a very strong scaling champion like Jax, just like he had on Yasuo, and that was what eventually brought LGD back into the game. So very scary times for IG, even though they're ahead, still don't want to risk it.
Yeah, once again, if IG get aced, then this Jax is going to bring down the turrets quite quickly. Once again, it can be a turnaround, but yeah, the thing that we want to think about is IG just winning the game. At the moment, there's 10k gold difference. It's still quite huge. I don't see LGD winning a 5v5 fight, especially with the Zetai's ultimate. And of course, you noticing that the double bombs dealing so much damage, this can be useful on the Baron buff. When they go for it, Illusion having the Taster Fear with the isolation bonus, then the Smite, and then the double bombs is going to be a lot of damage. There's practically no risk of a steal coming out from LGD.
Impressive play, but oh, it's going to be Chuan. The death sentence lands, and it's aptly named as he will try to safeguard away. Drops the ward, but drops his life. Bottom lane, though, continued initiation. Yongsu trying to fight on a 17. Knows Zetai's coming in from behind, and just look at that bomb damage. He even puts the slow down. You can't run from a Zillion. It's the most depressing escape of your life. He will find the kill on a 17. Chuan, of course, going down there to the pick, and well, Wayless is there for the ward clear. Teleports coming in from Yongsu. But without Zetai being able to join them, he's going to Zillion speed himself all the way to Baron. To be honest, he's going to get there pretty quickly, but LGD, they're getting in there. Big Mega Inferno Bomb to start things off, and Kid forced to flash backwards. He's going to get the Mikhails and the Summoner Heal to stay alive there, but Bouncing Bombs trying to find him in the back there. Flash over the wall for PYL. He and Wayless are really the only ones in the area trying to stop this dragon attempt, and even in the back, Zetai is able to find himself kill there on to X, or onto Q, XQ. He's got an X in front of his name. And teleport into this Baron. Is this where IG throw the game? Kid is very low. He's gonna get jumped on. There is, oh, the Zillion ult keeps him alive there. Even though Zetai sacrifices his own life, Kid will stay alive. But LGD, they're cleaning up the Baron fight. Kid's there in the back. He's got rockets to throw out there. Wilf actually find a kill, but it's a Baron buff for LGD. Chuan able to take it down.
Yeah, so I was just talking about IG being able to secure it with no possibilities of a steal. No problem, LGD are going in, cleaning it up, getting a biome buff for themselves. But yeah, you could have seen the positioning in the fight. Like, IG was so static when they were just killing the Baron. There comes the teleport from 17 and everyone starts panicking and running around and not knowing what to do. So that might have been a little thing that broke IG right there. So yeah, the Baron buff is for LGD.
A little bit of a misplay that fight by Zetai. He died with both of his summoner spells up. He actually wound up ulting Kid to keep Kid alive, gave him the Valkyrie over the wall, and Kid actually picked up a kill onto, I think it was PYL's Braum afterwards. So it was a good job to keep Kid alive, but Zetai didn't flash over the Baron pit. He could have just lived and been able to maybe throw out some extra bombs over the wall. Maybe turn that fight around. Wound up dying there. Of course, he will be able to get his ultimate back up there extremely, extremely quickly. Zillion's scaling is actually pretty incredible, especially the way that Zetai built him. Built him kind of greedy. The only greedier way would be to build in a Rod of Ages. But he does have the Seraph's Embrace completed, has tons of mana and CDR as from the Athenians. With a Death Cap Void Staff, his damage is off the charts, but it's Zillion. Like, you're playing a mid laner with literally one damaging spell, and so you have to make that work. Granted, you can do it a lot, and he's got some cool cooldowns, but I don't know. Zetai, I feel like, just in a different league from Wayless's Ziggs. Ziggs is going to keep scaling up there. You've got a Jax in the side lane from 17, and with a Baron buffed on him as well, like, LGD, they're just hanging on and waiting for IG to throw again, and I'm not sure IZ can resist the temptation.
Yeah, so Zetai is just going for the supportive mid laner. If you see a Kha'Zix jumping on you with a Taster Fear, with the isolation, with a bomb on top of himself, you're completely dead. So Zetai doesn't really care about the lack of the damage himself. He's going for the team fighting calm kind of right here. But yeah, it was not only the Baron going down to LGD, it was the kills, and with the kills, the shutdown bonuses, so they came back in a gold big time. Yeah, and once again, IG being so good and the game turning around and turning around and turning around, and LGD coming out with the first inhibitor of the game and looking so strong, stealing the Baron, getting a lot of kills to come back, getting the gold, and now it's so close, plus they have the pressure in the middle lane. It's just incredible. This LGD versus IG matchup should be remembered. The things that happen here are just massive.
Man, this is the best. Of course, my mic now back to working. Congratulations to me, but congratulations to LGD for just hanging on for so long. Of course, IG, you have to remember, in game one, they came back from a 1-6 start, so you really do have to watch out for that. I think the biggest thing to watch out for is that LGD have, like, the scaling is just way too off the charts. I mean, they have a Ziggs, they have a Jax, they have even just a Braum. As far as support scaling, like, you gotta talk about that. PYL's Braum has 3,000 hit points, whereas Kitty's is sitting at just barely over 2k. That's a big difference from supports. Braum, his health scaling is kind of off the charts. He's gonna be a big tank in there. Jax is a big tank. Chuan even is going to be a huge tank. And I don't know what to say. I'm not sure there's enough damage from IG. They have a mid laner with 1 damaging spell. They have a Corki who's not the highest damage late game carry. Sure, Illusion's got some burst damage, but Yongsu doesn't deal all that much. I think LGD are just gonna keep scaling, keep tanking up, and IG are in for a very difficult late game phase.
Yeah, IG like had the perfect start and perfect mid game, but then they started throwing it away bit by a bit. The first team fight, when it started, it was the first team fight right there when IG lost 3 for 4 kills right there in the top lane. And this inner turret in the top is still alive. It's surprising. It's so low on health and it's still alive. IG never had the chance to take it anymore.
Now IG are actually going to throw up a little bit of a pause here, so we'll have a little bit of a break to kind of keep our eyes on how things are going. 17's down in the bottom lane. LGD will utilize him for split pushing, but he does have teleport up, so he can rejoin the fight. Keep in mind, this is a Jax that's been devastated in lane. Like, he had a horrible start to the game because he was part of Chuan's double jungle strategy, where they're just like, hey, let's camp out the jungle, let's camp out the turrets, and at least try to get an early advantage that way. And to be honest, they did. LGD executed their 4-man dives top incredibly well, but we're just unable to come back in the mid lane, or in the mid game rather. And it was actually in the mid lane where Zatai was able to create a big advantage there. He's positive, and almost, to be honest, everybody on IG's team is positive, with the exception of their support and top laner. That's pretty okay. You'll actually notice that in order to increase the scaling, Kitties has picked up a Zeki's Herald, so able to get a little bit of extra AD and lifesteal out there for Corki, just to help Kid carry even harder. But to be honest, I don't think this is Kid's game to carry. I think this is Zatai's Zillion finally starting to scale down, not actually being able to deal as much damage as he needs to be. So it is going to be a rough late game here as LGD scaling up, looking to continue this. To be honest, this is okay. So this is LPL, right? Baron is where games are won and lost. IG threw that Baron fight not once but twice, and now LGD having won that, I think that's just the motivation, the propulsion that they need to kind of catapult them through this game. I mean, you've seen way more LPL than probably almost anyone out there, Nero. What's your perspective on this game? 35 minutes in.
Yeah, like LGD, not even in this one, but in the previous game, they also stole all the Barons away from IG. So, like, they kind of struggle with that, and they can't really seem to notice. They are still going for the Baron. They still can't really close out the game with such a huge advantage. They should be looking for a fight and not for a Baron, and that's their big problem. They are still going for the vision around the Baron. They are not going for the big team fights. They went for a 4v4 right there in the bottom lane. In the top lane, I'm sorry, they lost it. They should, well, they got a lot of carries, awesome hooks. They should be going for the opportunities right there and not stop after getting one pick. They should go ahead and take the turrets after that and not turn around and go for a Baron. So the Baron will be spawning in 120. There's still a kill yet to be taken for Willis, so he's not in like the top performance on the Ziggs as of yet. So if he starts getting the beastie amounts of damage out there, and if he starts getting kills, then this is going to get horrible for IG. And Ziggs is like, he pressures the game so much. It was like the top contested pick in the previous split, in the spring split. Every single time there was a Ziggs ban or a Ziggs pick or something like that. So he really is a strong champion, and now he has yet to show, and when he shows up, this is going to be really bad for IG.
IG now faced with defending their own second-tier top lane turret. This is a turret that LGD wound up keeping alive, even though it's at 120 HP. LGD had the ability to just stay in there, keep their turret alive, and now it's LGD able to push down their IG's top lane second-tier turret. Jax keeping the split push alive there, and to be honest, Youngsu does not have enough damage to fight this Jax. He's going for one offensive item there in that Tiamat and just letting the rest of his team deal the damage. This is a very traditional way to build a team comp, but it's not something that IG have done. IG went very damage light, heavy utility from their team composition and are starting to pay the price, running really low on damage here in these late game team fights.
Yeah, so Youngsu versus 17 in the bottom lane, this is going to be the key fight, in my opinion. Like Zetai versus...
Schwann's getting chased down here. Illusion finds that engage, but actually might have overextended. Oh, no Illusion. Okay. The Thresh Lantern. Mega Infernal Bomb's out there. Almost catches out Zetai. Didn't actually use his ultimate there. And you can see that 17 is actually trying to get away from Youngsu right now because he wants to be able to TP to these team fights. He wants to teleport to Baron. And I think Youngsu is wise to this. He might try to catch him out there. Again, 17 jumps over the wall, and there's the teleport coming into Baron. LGD are going to try for a Baron of their own this time without stealing it. It is this IG's opportunity to come back from the fight. We got to teleport into the pit. Is it in time? No, it's not. That's going to be Youngsu very deep in the pit. Are they going to dive over the wall? IG, they get Illusion into the pit. There's the follow-up from Kitty. So much burst damage going down. The Phosphorus Bomb's not in there. And it's going to be the Valkyrie out. Kid gets kicked in the face. He goes down, and it's 5 alive for LGD versus only Kitties in Zetai.
Yeah, so LGD need to do as much as they can. Maybe they won't be able to close out the game, but they want to get the inhibitors as quickly as possible. They don't want to make the mistake that IG did in the previous game for sure. That's the most important thing. They can't leave the Nexus alive at like 100 HP because it's demotivating, to be honest.
Yeah, well, with 30 seconds up, I don't think there's too much stopping LGD from coming back here. And we saw a lot of people actually predict a 2-0 IG victory here versus LGD, but like you said, this matchup can go either way. And with a little bit of greed costing IG game number 1, it's LGD who just wait them out. With impeccable play in every single lane, IG win the lane, but lose the game, and it will be a 2-0 victory for LGD. So congratulations to them. They will advance in the standings to with 2 victories. They will actually head up to the I think they're now up in 2nd place with a score of 7, just 1 point behind the top 4 or the top 3 teams in LPL.
Yeah, so IG was tied with LGD coming into this game, and they actually lost, which is really bad because I said that they will be lacking this 1 point if they get to 2nd place after this match, but they didn't get any points. So they actually may even be struggling to get into the top 4 throughout the whole season. Because look at the strength in the top lines right there. World Lead, OMG, Edward Gaming, Starhorn, maybe not really impressive too much as we expected them to be, but they are still really strong. And Invictus, they had the game to win. If they can win just against Young Glory and World Elite Academy, then, well, they don't really deserve to be in the top half of the table. And they really wanted to be there. And they seemed so strong at the very early games in the week 2 and week 1. And it's just incredible. So now we will be coming into EDG versus World Elite Academy. And yeah, IG versus LGD, this match. It was 2-0 in favor of LGD the first time they faced off. Then 0-2 in favor on 2-0, I'm sorry, in favor of Invictus Gaming. Now once again LGD dominating, and the next game will most probably be IG taking it 2-0.
Now I gotta say, I think you mean EDG taking it 2-0. This next game is, like you said, it's Edward Gaming EDG. They'll be facing off against World Elite Academy. And We Academy has been a team that was very hyped up when they came into LPL. It was arguably, a lot of people consider them one of the best teams in China, but they didn't have the experience, and you can still see that costing them. They win the lane phase sometimes, but then afterwards they kind of fall apart. So we'll see if they can win against one of the best teams, arguably. Edward Gaming now sitting in 4th, mostly just because they haven't played this series. And if they do win this series 2-0, it'll give them the 3 points they need to go into a 4-way tie for 4th place in LPL. World Elite, OMG, Starhorn, Royal Club, and EDG all poised for that 1st place spot. And if you thought this week of action was incredible, just wait until next week when you have all 4 of those teams in 1st place going up against each other. So it's going to be some exciting times. I'm looking forward to our next series. Once again, it will be EDG versus World Elite Academy. We'll have that game coming up after a break. Now, because this is the LPL, there's an hour-long break in between the first series and the second series. So in the meantime, we've got some of Games in Asia's translated LPL content. We'll be bringing that to you guys over the break. So it will be an hour-long break in between Game 1 and 2, or Series 1 and 2. So stick around. We've got an hour until we finally hit our second series. It's World Elite Academy facing off against EDG. And of course, thank you for watching the English content here, the English stream of the LPL. It's brought to you guys by Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. And of course, you can only find that here on Twitch TV. I do want to thank them for their support. So like I said, we'll be back in an hour. Enjoy some of this translated content from Games in Asia. And we will see you for series number 2. Between EDG and World Elite Academy in 1 hour.